And we're back with the show. This is Gerald once again coming right back at you here. Well, tabletop gaming is now at an all-time high with a lot of games that are now available all across the board from licensed games to non-licensed games, original games that are out there, and games that actually recreate a lot of the things we love in pop culture. And who better to talk about tabletop RPG gaming than one of the leading, if not the leading manufacturer of tabletop games that are out there? He is the head of RPG development at Modiphius Entertainment. You got to check out their awesome site today at modiphius.com and check out, my gosh, it's almost like an encyclopedia full of titles that this great company has made so far. It is Sam Webb. Just great to have you a part of the pop culture cosmos, Sam. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. It's kind of evening time here. I know it's kind of morning for you.
Oh, that's okay. It's like I said, it's that trying to arrange interviews like that overseas with UK, Australia that I do on occasion. It's just always great unless until you figure out is the actual time frame correct on that Google or whatever translator you use as far as the time difference is concerned. So always fun in doing that, trying to get the math right. But it's great to have you here. And it looks like from what I'm seeing and all the news that's out there on games such as yours, really it's a great time to get into tabletop RPG gaming.
Yeah, there's such a selection out there at the moment. The market is full of some incredible IPs. We were at Gen Con a couple of weeks ago, and just to see the number of vendors there and the number of games there, especially at the Ennies as well, was just astounding.
And that's one thing I want to ask you about because, like you said, Gen Con was recently. How much has grown? From what I'm seeing and all the video that I saw shot there, it looks like it's grown exponentially over the course of even just the past, 2, 3, 4 years.
Yeah, well, my first experience of Gen Con was only last year, so I've been just twice now. But it's just huge, and we don't have anything comparable in the UK. Really, we have UK Games Expo, which is probably around half the size, I'd say, or a bit less in terms of, I think, in terms of people through the door. Um, Otherwise, we have a few smaller conventions. But just nothing beats the massive trade hall, the big gaming areas, and everything that goes on, and the whole town takes part. It feels like.
So I have seen, and it's really something for me here in Las Vegas that has conventions quite a bit themselves. It's something when you can see where you have a whole collection, a whole gathering of people just celebrating over one event. And I tell you what, Gen Con is such a great event at this point in time. And I'm sure your company was really upfront with everything that it had to deliver, including games that are really just getting a lot of pub out there, including games like Fallout Wasteland Warfare. And one I originally wanted to talk to you about, Star Trek Adventures as well. But it looks like both games are going to be a really big hit this fall for people that are looking for a Christmas gift or really a game to really get into as far as tabletop RPG gaming is concerned.
Yeah, absolutely. Star Trek Adventures this fall has the starter set coming out. So we had our core rulebook came out last year, and that's done really well for us already. And the starter set is going to be more like an introductory box set, like you get your kind of D&D red box, or you get something like that. And that's for new players or for people who are fans of the IP who really want to just give RPGs a go, just to kind of dip their toe. And it has everything they need to play, and it kind of teaches them as it goes. And then in terms of wargaming, Fallout Wasteland Warfare, of course, is up there. And we were demoing that at Gen Con just as pre-order copies were shipping to customers. So that's going to be in stores very shortly, and should do really well for us as well. We're really excited about it.
I can imagine. And with Fallout 76 coming to store shelves as a video game to almost coincide with the release of Fallout Wasteland Warfare, it really makes for a great time for Fallout fans.
I've got to admit, I had no idea that Fallout 76 was a thing that was happening. So we were watching the stream that they put out on Twitch along with everybody else to see what it was and what was going on. Um, I mean, obviously, we know a little bit more now. but at the time it was a little bit of a surprise. We knew something was happening, but we didn't know exactly what. But
Absolutely.
it's coincided really well.
Oh, absolutely. And with QuakeCon, which is Bethesda's event, with just happening in the recent weeks, it just gives fans a great time to embrace Bethesda products or Bethesda related products such as Fallout Wasteland Warfare. And I know as someone like you said, just now aware of Fallout 76, which is not exactly a true standalone Fallout per se. It's more of a focused multiplayer adventure. I think it's probably what best way to say it. It's gearing more into that realm. It looks like it's still going to be a big hit this fall, and coinciding with that game, Fallout Wasteland Warfare, just looks like it's going to be a great game itself.
Yeah, it should be absolutely incredible. I mean, we've taken design elements certainly from the likes of kind of your X-Wings and what has kind of skirmish gaming and what kind of miniatures gaming has started to become, which is a lot more scenario-based, narrative-driven, has accessible components and rules as well. So that was, I know, was kind of the focus of those guys in the war game department, certainly.
Absolutely. And like I said, you've got that game, not only that, but you've got also Star Trek Adventures as well, and basing it off that IP. And it's now really cool again to be a Star Trek fan with the advent of obviously the show that's now on CBS All Access and Star Trek Discovery. And now Patrick Stewart asking to be, well, actually hired to be on his own Star Trek series as well. So Star Trek is gearing up. It looks like it's a great time to be a Star Trek fan. And the Star Trek Adventures, I know you've been getting a lot of favorable press on that game coming out as well with the starter kit, like you said.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a really good response from people, fans as well. As I say, the core rule book, which is basically the main substance of the game, has been out for about a year now. We launched at Gen Con in 2017. Um, and I'm just really proud of the product. From what I hear from fans, they're constantly saying that this is the game that feels most like Star Trek, because there have been various iterations before, from various other licensees over the years. But we're really proud to have actually really brought the kind of themes and feeling of being a Starfleet officer, going out, exploring, discovering new things, as a key part of the game. We definitely wanted to focus on that as the main cut and thrust of the game and its adventures, rather than kind of goblin bothering, going into dungeons and killing lots of monsters. That's not really what Star Trek's about. So we really wanted to have science, discovery, exploration as the focus of the themes we explored.
Oh, that's awesome to hear. Once again, I'm with Sam Webb. He is the head of RPG development at Modiphius Entertainment. You've got to check out their awesome site today at modiphius.com. That's Modiphius.com. One thing I want to also talk to you about is, well, I know you can't talk too much about it, but isn't it great to see that a lot of the stuff that Modiphius is actually putting out there to consumers, including a possible Kung Fu Panda game that actually got backed on Kickstarter? I know you can't talk too much about that game per se, but how reassuring is it when a project like that gets underway, gets proposed, and gets backed on Kickstarter?
It's really encouraging from fans, obviously, that they still enjoy what we're doing, and that we've proven ourselves in terms of credibility for dealing with different intellectual properties from different companies or different makers themselves, like the Infinity role playing game, like you say, Kung Fu Panda, or Star Trek, where you're dealing with someone else's property, you're dealing with someone else's ideas and themes. And often that comes with a lot of baggage, in a good way, of fans and their interpretation of what that universe is like, or what that world and what that looks like, and what it feels like. So we're very diligent, we're very careful in terms of making sure that that comes across in the games. So Kung Fu Panda, it's not going to be a very complex, in-depth game. It's going to be very readily accessible, fast and furious. It's all about kind of kung fu action with a kind of cartoon feel. um and that really is kind of that for Kung Fu Panda. In terms of Star Trek Adventures, like I said, it's more about the exploration and discovery of things, Whereas with Infinity, it was much more about Gautier and the world of Infinity, this universe they've constructed, of the human sphere. And then with Conan as well, which we did an RPG of, and was another Kickstarter we did a couple of years ago. We're very keen to make sure that we get Robert E. Howard's world absolutely right.
Well, that's awesome because, like you said, Conan is now available. Also, you have Mutant Chronicles, Vampire the Masquerade, John Carter, Dune. All these games are based off of those properties, and you've got a ton more. And if you want to check it out today, it's at modiphius.com. Before we head on out, my friend, I want to ask you this. Two things. First off, why do people need to look at your site and focus on your games as a way of, or for a great idea for not only just a birthday gift, or if they're a tabletop RPG gaming fan in their lives, or as a great holiday gift for someone who may want to get into the tabletop RPG process?
Sure. Well, I mean, our games really do represent, like I said, the ability. Conan equally is a sword and sorcery adventure of, brutality and strange magic. So all of these things allow you to tell your own stories in your favorite universe, your favorite IP. And that's something that's key that comes through, I think, all of our games, through from the war games of Wasteland Warfare to the board games of Kung Fu Panda, and then also mainly into the RPGs that we produce.
Oh, that's awesome. And if you do check out the site Modiphius.com, and you check out everything that's there and available from Modiphius Entertainment, again, it's a huge list of licensed and non-licensed games. So you got to check it out today. I will say this. I know you guys have had the fortune to get and go after and obtain a lot of licensed games for a lot of entertainment, a lot of entertaining hours of fun and whatnot. But I know there may be some maybe a license out there that you would love on a personal level to get and say, hey, Modiphius, maybe you want to look in this direction. And although without telling any secrets or anything behind the scenes or whatnot, if there was a fantasy type scenario, what type of license would you personally like to go after? Because I've got one of my own that I'd love to see come to fruition at one day by either Modiphius or anyone else in the tabletop RPG field.
Yeah, of course. No, completely personally speaking, I've got two IPs that really I absolutely adore. The first from quite a few years ago now is The Matrix. I would absolutely love to work on a Matrix game.
Excellent call. Excellent call.
Yeah, I grew up as a teenager watching it. Then I watched the sequels, and I don't think they're terrible. I know that's controversial, but and then I played The Matrix Online, which the Wachowskis were involved in. I remember. And then when Sony took it over, unfortunately declined into them closing the servers. But I would love to see that, again. I'm not sure if we're in for a resurgence of the IP or anything, but, it's a personal love, and I absolutely adore there to be an RPG for it. And then secondly, I'm a massive Fallout fan, so I'm really excited about Wasteland Warfare, and just any possibility of doing anything else with Bethesda is an absolute dream for me. So, I'm catered on one side and kind of left hanging with The Matrix, I guess.
I hear you, but that's still some great suggestions. And having Fallout now a part of the Modiphius lineup is certainly a great catch indeed. Although I think it would be even a greater catch if Modiphius were to inquire or at least ask about a certain Mass Effect. Oh. hint there. But
really.
But I'm a big fan of the Mass Effect series because I've got Shepard right behind me here. But if that ever comes to play, I would, like I said, you've got a fan right here, indeed. But definitely, you've got a lot of fans out there that love your games, that love everything you bring to the table. I know I've enjoyed what I've seen so far, everything that you guys have had to display, and everything in the future. I'd love to get you on closer to the holiday season and right around there, just to remind everybody all the great things that Modiphius Entertainment has to offer, because everybody not now will be now checking out modiphius.com, but it is important to remind people that Modiphius has a lot of great games that they should be looking for this holiday season.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll do. I'm happy to come back on.
That's awesome. And you can also give everyone updates on all the great stuff that's going on. Once again, it is modiphius.com. That is modiphius.com. That's modiphius.com and Modiphius Entertainment for all the great games that they have out there. And I'll tell you what, like I said, I'm counting at least 20 titles that are active that I see on their website right now. And you can check out all the great titles that they have today. It is a huge list indeed of licensed and non-licensed games and games and accessories right there for you. Just truly a pleasure, Sam, to have you a part of the show. And I'll tell you what, it's just looking like a great gaming season right there at Modiphius Entertainment.
Yeah, it really is. And we've got some incredible stuff coming up as well, but can't talk much about that, I'm afraid.
I know, but I'll press you at some point in time later down the road. Rest assured on that. At least I'll try and needle you, maybe hopefully get a little bit of a advance word on some great games coming from Modiphius Entertainment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you again. It's a pleasure having you show. And of course, once again, it's Sam Webb, the head of RPG development at Modiphius Entertainment. It's truly a pleasure to have you a part of the pop culture.
Thank you very much, man. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you as well, a part of the pop culture cosmos.